Welcome back to another episode of the Casual GM Podcast. I am your host, Drew, and I am, of course, joined as always by my co-host, Mike. Mike, how are you?
Just as handsome as Trevor. Drew, how about yourself?
I'm great. I'm even better today because we are joined by two of our longtime subscribers and first-time guests, Brian and Justin, who goes by Burks. So,
yeah. Welcome, guys. I'm glad that we're going to do this. So, for anybody that that doesn't know what's going on today, we're going to do a first-round mock, and we're all taking a direction in the two divisions in that. So, I got the AFC and NFC East. Drew's got the West. Brian's got the South, and Justin's got the North. So, if he's the one that's picking a quarterback at 6 or trades up, that he's the guy that you got to yell out. That's why we picked Justin.
I don't know what Brian did to piss you off, Mike. So, I mean, giving him the South.
I've just known him for so long. There's got to be something.
You poor bastard. So
yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. This is fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. That's for sure.
Yeah. What just dawned on me that I got the Lions in a room full of Lions fans.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's not going to be any judgment at all.
No, not at all.
Oh, so, Shannon's back. Hey, that's fun.
Oh, Shannon's back. Hey, buddy. Had lunch with Shannon today.
Oh, that's nice.
So she knew about the show.
She's always good for a laugh.
She is. So and he's out. Okay, we'll give Justin a minute here. So normally we had planned on just getting right into the mock, but
Here he is.
We'll let Justin come back.
Gave me a heart attack. That's fine.
I tried to leave a comment in the comment section and everything went bad.
Sure.
Gotcha. So we're going to skip the whole news and notes and get right to it because 31 picks. It's going to take a little bit to get through this, but it's going to be hella fun. So let me share my screen here. And we're going to start it up. What you'll do is just go ahead and tell me what you want to do, and I'll make the selections as we go. You can talk about why you wanted to do that player, if you want to trade up or back. Throw a note out. Hey, Carolina, the Packers are on the phone or whatever it is. So we can have some fun with it. And I think that's kind of it to start. Anything before we get rolling?
I'm pumped. I can't wait.
All right, let's do this thing. I'm going to click on Start Draft.
Okay.
And Carolina is on the board.
With the first pick in the NFL draft, the Carolina Panthers will draft Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama.
Okay.
I think he's the only real legitimate shot to become a decent quarterback. So that's where I'm going.
It's hard to argue with that logic.
Yep. And after trading up, you're not trading back. So
nope.
All right.
Houston, I think you're up again, aren't you? The
I
South
am.
is not that good. So
no. And amongst a lot of deliberation here, I am going to draft CJ Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State, even though I really wanted to go defense.
You can do whatever you want.
I know, but I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they got the guts.
Okay.
So why did you pick Stroud over Levis, Richardson, or defense? What was it you thought that Stroud was going to bring to them that
they're more NFL ready. They need, he's more NFL ready. He's got a better grasp on the offense. He's more accurate. I worry a little bit that he crumbles under pressure, but we'll see if that happens we'll see if it happens at the next level, but I think he's more ready than the other two. I think Levis might be 2A or 2B, I guess you could say, but I went with Stroud in this situation. I really wanted to go with Anderson, and I considered it highly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Brian's does.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the Arizona Cardinals. I keep trying to scroll down on the mock, Mike, to see all the different options that are there.
Oh, yeah.
So, but unfortunately, I don't know that I'm going to be able to make this pick because I've got the Raiders on the phone looking to move up and
Raiders
and trade with me here. So, I guess the third pick's on the floor if anybody wants to make an offer. No? Okay.
There's nobody from the East.
I guess ring.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. This is the GM of the Cardinals, not Steve Keim. How can I help you today?
The Indianapolis Colts would be interested in trading you their first round and third round this pick to move up one.
Interesting. So I've got first and a third rounder.
I wasn't willing to get rid of 55.
Oh, interesting. So interesting. The Raiders are offering me more to come up from 7. Indy. Any chance you might sweeten that deal a little bit? What do we say we go 1 this year, 1 next year? Negative? Okay.
I will offer you the opportunity to draft Anderson at number 4.
For me, Anderson. So you're not gonna take Will Anderson.
That's to be determined, I'm assuming.
3. No.
You could be a lying bastard. I'm not certain. But I guess that's the kind of thing you have to work out, right? So
Yep.
Okay, I will. All right, with that assurance, I will accept your first and a third to move down 1 spot.
All right, let's do that.
Watch him take Anderson and just make me look like an idiot.
That would be absolutely hilarious.
It would be good.
So first, and then which third?
I'm gonna get 79 for sure.
All right, so 3 for 4 and 79.
It's a little cheap, but I like Brian. You're gonna have to force that trade.
Yeah,
Mike.
there it is. All right, the Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock.
And the Colts will select Will Levis.
Bam.
Brian wants to get all of his picks out of the way first thing.
Yep.
He's like, I didn't eat.
Okay, so the Cardinals are back on the clock. Any reason for Will Levis there, Brian, over Anthony Richardson?
I think Anthony Richardson has got bust written all over him.
Okay. Gotcha. Mike, will you do me a favor and scroll down on the prospects a little bit? There. Mm-hmm. So Arizona Cardinals are back on the clock. We've got Jalen Carter at the top of the board, Mike. Is that right?
We do.
Hang on. I'm just going to take a real quick look at the teams in front of me here.
While you're doing that, I'm going to give a shout out to Joey Bonesaw and Shannon out there. Joey 2 times. We got a couple Joeys.
Let's see. Las Vegas has called me again. They want to make a trade, and I'm going to accept this. So I have them offering 370 and a 2024 second round pick to come up to number 4 overall. So I would
number
get
7, number 70, and round 2 for number 4.
Yep.
All right.
And the Raiders are going to take Anthony Richardson, quarterback from Florida, who I do not think will be a bust.
No. We're going to teach him how to throw, huh?
Well, so that's just it, right? So you go from who you were throwing to at Florida this year to one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. You have a good possession receiver in Hunter Renfrow. Plus, what's the coach's name? The guy from New England.
Yeah.
Belichick?
No.
McDaniels.
Oh, Josh McDaniels.
Yeah. That guy.
If I'm him, I'm designing an offense that doesn't force Anthony Richardson to be a drop back passer. I'm creating a run pass option offense very similar to what like Philadelphia runs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to mitigate his ability, like hit the things that he doesn't do well in the passing game early in his career, highlight his running potential, build the team around him, help him improve like his mechanics, his throwing motion, his footwork, the way that he understands the game. And then I'm going to ease him in year 2, year 3 probably year 2 and year 3. And then because you have Garoppolo on your team right now, or on my team right now, right? And then I'm going to see whether or not he could be like a top 8 quarterback in the NFL. I'm going to take that chance.
Yeah, one of the things I did like about him is the opportunity to script certain plays for him and packages for him and get him in games here and there a little bit before giving him the reins fully.
So I think I'm back on the clock here with the NFC West, the Seattle Supersonics. Nope, that's correct. That's incorrect. That's not even a team anymore. The Seattle Seahawks.
The Seattle Sea Rats.
Yeah, there we go. And we're going to take Will Anderson, outside linebacker, edge rusher from Alabama. So just top player on our board.
Right on.
Well,
the Detroit Lions are on the clock.
That leaves the Lions, and I think despite my better judgment, I'm going to lean the way it seems that Campbell and Brett Holmes have been going with their interview today, and I am going to select Jalen Carter, defensive lineman out of Georgia.
I love it.
I don't.
I do.
So no fears about Carter then?
I have tons personally, but it seems like the Lions are very interested in him as a prospect, and I have a tendency to trust Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell a lot more than I trust myself.
That's a good call. Good call.
He has not shown any reason to distrust him, so I think it makes sense to trust.
But his pro day is very worrisome for me personally. I told you guys earlier off camera that he just reminds me too much of Nick Fairley and the trauma that I have from that pick.
If there's a team that's going to draft, if there's a team that's going to give you draft related trauma, it is the Lions.
That will happen.
So
all right, so we've got Arizona back on the clock again.
After trading down twice and accumulating some more capital, the Arizona Cardinals, who currently have, let me just double check so I have this correct, Marco Wilson and Rashad Fenton at cornerback. We are going to take Devin Witherspoon, cornerback, Illinois, to be our CB1.
Pretty solid.
Thank you, Mike. Your praise means everything to me. You know that.
I know. That's why I had to give it.
At this pace, we're going to be done in about 40 minutes, by the way. So, I mean,
we did our homework.
Yeah, we did. Maybe we'll have to do 2 mocks.
Yeah, Joey, that's kind of the same way I feel.
Yeah. With the Atlanta Falcons, I really was hoping Witherspoon might be there. But I will go with the second best edge rusher in the draft with Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech because Atlanta has needed an edge rusher for an eon. So
that's true.
Who was their last good edge rusher?
Yeah, name them.
I can't.
Right.
They had one. Who was it? They had one.
Yeah,
it was later in his career.
Yeah, wasn't a draftee then, huh?
No idea.
No, it definitely was a draftee. Someone went there later in their career and played all right as an edge rusher. I can't think of it.
I like how Mike hasn't had a pick yet.
Hey, I'm almost there.
Oh, it's Chicago.
Almost there. Yeah.
I forgot it was
Chicago.
Me. Yeah. All right. Chicago here is going to go ahead and start building their team like the Detroit Lions did in the way they should have started by drafting a tackle. Now, I'm going to buck conventional wisdom a little bit here, and I prefer to draft Paris Johnson Jr. out of Ohio State over Peter Skoronski.
Okay.
So
if
that
he
is
was
going to
there,
be
the
the
Titans
Bears
were going
pick.
to take him.
I like big size. Ohio State has tackles for days. It just Drew was talking earlier. He said Skoronski has more positional versatility, and I said, well, I just like my tackles to play tackle.
Brian, you said the Titans would have taken him if he'd made it to 11?
Yep. for sure.
That makes a lot of sense, I think. All right, Mike, dazzle us with your draft acumen.
Yeah. So the Eagles are sitting here after getting to the Super Bowl. And it's weird. I don't know why they've got so many needs listed there. Because if you look at that, they're like, wow, this team must suck. But I don't think they have quite that many needs.
I don't understand the wide receiver one. I mean, you have Smith and AJ Brown. I mean, okay, third wide receiver need, but you also have Dallas Goedert, who's a pass catching tight end. It's a little strange. They lost a lot in free agency.
Mid-round pick, maybe.
Yeah. I think there's a few things that we could probably use. The tackle, I was really kind of hoping that Jalen Carter's off-field troubles would get him sliding out to number 10, because I think we really need that defensive tackle position. So since he didn't do it, I think Kalijah Kancey is going to be a really good fit for the Eagles. And with the 10th overall pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select Kalijah Kancey out of Pittsburgh.
Interesting.
Okay, I think Brian is on the clock with the Tennessee Titans here.
Yes, and they are going to take the second best, or maybe some believe the first best offensive lineman in Peter Skransky.
Nice.
It's pretty solid.
With the Texans, they are going to give their new quarterback a wide receiver to play around with, and they are going to take Jackson Smith out of Ohio State. I'm going to avoid that third name there because I would screw that up.
Njigba. Jackson Smith and Njigba.
Did you just sneeze, or was that actually his name?
No, that's how you say it. He plays for Ohio State. I learned all their names.
So the Jets, Jets. They've been keeping an eye on the whole cornerback situation because we need one pretty bad. We also need a tackle, and we kept looking at opportunities to trade up or whether we thought we would need to. Little surprised that both of the tackles went. I thought that at least one of them would have gotten there. So we're a bit disappointed in New York, as they have been after most of their drafts lately. So we are kind of taking – what's that?
Sauce Gardner seems okay.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's the bright spot there. I was talking with a big Jets fan over the weekend, and I said, well, what is it that your team needs? Like, well, we need a tackle. We need a center. We need an edge rusher. We need a defense tackle. We probably need cornerback. I'm like, oh, so you need a new team. Like for a team that made the playoffs last year, he listed quite a bit.
Sounds like a great spot to draft Bijan Robinson.
Yeah. So I'm kind of looking on the defensive side of the ball here. We've got some pretty decent weapons on offense with the wide receivers. I'm disappointed the tackles didn't get there. I am thinking potentially dropping down to get Darnell, taking Darnell Wright. I'm also considering Brisset. I think the interesting thing is Aaron Rodgers going to actually be on the team? And I think it will. I think it's going to happen after the draft. So we're just going to draft as though we have Aaron Rodgers, and I want to give him a little bit more protection. So we're going to go with Darnell Wright, offensive tackle out of Tennessee.
Ouch.
I like that pick a lot for them. I think that's a nice pick. He might be able to play. I mean, there are some people that think he's a right tackle only. I think he's got enough foot speed to play left.
I don't think right tackle only is an insult anymore.
No, I certainly don't either. But I I like the player quite a bit. He's risen up draft boards. I certainly don't think it's a reach to take him here at 13. I think it's their biggest need. That's a good pick.
And I get to go again. Look at this back-to-backers. So Brian, is that what that feels like? Just all the picks like right in a row?
Yep. Getting them all out of the way.
Yeah. So
I got a run coming.
Patriots. But yeah, that's true. It's kind of weird how some of these just kind of ran together. But the Patriots, they are in need of a cornerback. They could use a wide receiver and they could use an offensive tackle. Those are kind of the biggest needs. And interestingly, toward the top of the big board here, we have a wide receiver and a cornerback. The tackles are kind of all gone, or at least the kind of the top tier ones. And I think they're just super happy that a guy like Christian Gonzalez falls to him. And I think they're going to take the second best cornerback off the board.
Broderick Jones is still on the board. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Who?
Okay.
I would have gone Gonzalez too. They definitely skew or they avoid their needs sometime and draft the best player on the board. That tends to be his MO up there. So,
all right, Packers are on the clock. Assuming they are not going to have Aaron Rodgers playing, you do have a wide receiver available, which is where I was kind of leaning, thinking about this. But that Lucas Van Ness pick there at edge is also kind of sitting there staring at me. Like that they should start building the defense now that their offense is kind of questionable. Because, I say you give the young quarterback a weapon. The Packers are going to go ahead and draft Quentin Johnston.
The Commanders are very disappointed. They were hoping he was going to fall one more spot. They really needed to replace the production of Kenny Galladay after. Oh, God, that was fun to do. It was really fun to do, though.
He played for New York.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. I for whatever reason, I was thinking Washington, but yeah, you're right. Cheap shot, and it was not even a good one.
It still was funny.
It's still funny. Yeah, that's true. So we're looking for cornerback, center, a tackle. I think Deontay Banks is probably the best bang for the buck. We could look at Joey Porter. We're kind of lucky that we got two really good cornerbacks available to us. I think between the two of those, I think Deontay Banks is probably the guy that we're going to go with. So Washington is going to go with Deontay Banks, cornerback from Maryland.
Mike, I hate to interrupt, but there's breaking news.
There's breaking news.
Yes.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep.
Okay. That's good. San Francisco 49ers are on the phone with the Green Bay Packers. And they are offering their 24 first-round draft pick for Aaron Rodgers.
Wait, what's happening?
The San Francisco 49ers, who don't pick until 99 this
Wow.
draft, are going to offer their 2024 first-round pick to the Packers for Aaron Rodgers.
That's a snap accept.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Interesting.
So we don't have to
Aaron
worry
Rodgers
about
is
Purdy's
not-
elbow. I don't have to worry about Trey Lance. I get to start 2023 season. I'm going to bring Aaron
Five
Rodgers.
quarterbacks counting against your cap.
Yeah, there you go. we are chips in the middle.
But at least two of them are rookies.
Yeah.
That's the importance of having a quarterbacks on rookie deals. You can have so many of them, and it's not a bad of a deal.
To offset the two veteran quarterbacks.
There you go.
And you thought Goff's contract was bad.
It is. So
how is Jimmy Garoppolo's to be a third string quarterback?
Yeah. Well, he's in
so the interesting thing is, I know I'm not the NFC North representative, but that makes it interesting for the Lions whether they want to trade, say, 18 for Trey Lance or something like that.
Oh, I don't think that. I think that's a little rich. at this
I'm
point.
just saying those are the kind of things that open up now with.
I'm not
Trey
sure I
Lance
would trade a
being
7th
available.
rounder for Trey Lance.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
good news
rough.
is Trey Lance is on my team, so
All right, the
So,
Steelers are on the
Pittsburgh.
clock.
They are on the clock. What are the needs for the Steelers?
Steelers have a couple of needs. Pro Football Focus has them at tackle, linebacker, and DB. I think they could also use a wide receiver.
Their O line
well,
definitely.
they traded for Allen Robinson today.
Okay. They
That
didn't.
doesn't
Well,
change
technically,
anything.
we talked about this. They didn't trade for him. They were given Allen Robinson in exchange for paying $5 million of his contract.
It's a trade as far as the NFL rules are concerned. Joey, I'm to make a play like that, I would have to restructure basically the rest of my restructurable contracts, but it frees up about enough money if Green Bay would be willing to eat a portion of his deal, which I think is reasonable for them, given what I offered in compensation.
Yeah, because I don't think the Jets are gonna budge on the first round pick.
Yeah.
Nor do I think they should. Steelers are on the clock. Right now, the Steelers really wanted the tackle to fall to them in the forms of either I'm never gonna remember how to say his name. Skoronski or Paris, and they did not. So they are going to go ahead, and as tempting as it is to take Lucas Van Ness right now, they're going to go like the last team we drafted here in the North, and they're going to draft Broderick Jones to help bolster that line.
That's a great pick. I love that pick. Mike?
Ooh.
You are in control of the draft.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like everybody just disappeared from my screen. So who you're gonna take? Who?
We took Broderick Jones from Georgia.
Tackle.
Yes.
Broderick Jones. All right. The Detroit Lions
are up. And like every other pick before, we are still tempted by Van Ness. But
can we remind everybody who the Lions took at 6?
6. The Lions drafted Jalen Carter.
There we go.
Defensive lineman. So we're going to stay on the defensive side of the ball, and a little bit of a homer pick here. I'm going to take Joey Porter Jr., DB from Penn State.
Love it. Mainly my love of this pick is that it's not Bijan Robinson or Kalijah Kancey, so I'm thrilled.
Just because you don't want them to get drafted, or because you want to draft them?
No, because I think that Kalijah Kancey is an outlier. I don't want to bet on an outlier with a first round pick.
Yeah.
And I think that Bijan Robinson is a great player. And I think that he's going to make any team that he plays for better. But just the history of running backs drafted in the first round is just so atrocious. And like, you sign David Montgomery to $6 million a year, you have DeAndre Swift on your roster. You want to use that guy's carry. If you're going to invest a first round pick in a running back, you need to use that guy's carries immediately. So like, I don't like the narrative that like, oh, like he can be there, like, and you can have him a featured back in year 2. Sorry, like I'm not wasting a year of a running back, first round running backs contracts.
The Lions are fairly deep at running back already.
I would agree. Brian finally gets to talk again.
But does he? He's getting a call.
Uh-oh.
He's getting a call from the New York Giants.
Ooh.
And the New York Giants are looking to move up from pick number 25 up to 19. And they are looking, it's like they know. They are looking to take the 19th pick in exchange for the 25th and the 89th pick.
Let's do some math here.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Brian?
150 points.
Move down 6 spots.
Move down 6 spots, and you get number 89 there. So 3rd round pick.
So how about we swap 2nd rounders as well?
Oof. So 19 and 50. I feel like this is already rich enough.
Of course you do.
I feel like I should have actually offered. I feel like I should have offered 128 and 25 for 19. So 50 and 19 for those 3. I would do that if we throw in next year's 4th rounder.
Getting pretty complicated.
Yeah, it is.
We'll pass.
Ooh.
He's got a pick in mind.
All right. So this is tough. I don't want to give up quite that much, but I have a guy that I want and I feel strongly about.
So in all seriousness, Mike.
Yeah.
So if this player, you have to, I mean, like, this is the opportunity to figure out like what you feel that player is worth, right?
Yep.
So like the opportunity cost of trading a pick and a future pick for the player that you think is going to help your team now, how are you going to weigh that value? Like, talk us through it a little bit here.
So I think like just like total points before like the initial offer, the 19 and 25, I thought that 3rd round pick would have been enough to fill the gap, right? And give a little bit of extra value for the Buccaneers to come back and go, yeah, that seems reasonable. The question then now that I've got is, all right, if he wants to do that, are those 7 spots in the 2nd round too much to kind of like overwhelm? Like that's just not enough value, or there's too much value I'm giving up.
So would the 5th year option on this player be worth those 7 picks or those 7 spots in the 2nd round?
I think this guy would be a key piece of my team, and I think it's probably worth it.
There you go, Brian. What about that?
So, all right. All right. This right here. Are we good?
Yep.
All right.
You're probably going to take the player I was going to take.
We're going to take Brian Branch, safety from Alabama.
Was that it, Brian?
That was one of the 3 I was considering, but that's where I was leaning.
That's like 3 times Brian's been sniped in this draft.
Yep.
But look at all of the capital that you got, right?
It was worth it.
There you go. It's true. I think
all right,
so
the
too.
Sea Rats are back on the clock.
So I have a question for Burks. Which chart are you using?
I got a couple of them here.
Okay. So I'm on the
what's
clock.
the S and something one, and then I have another one that I ripped off of PFF.
Oh, gotcha. So I think they use the one that I use, which is one from Over the Cap, which is the Fitzgerald Spielberger model.
Yeah, I had that one, and then I got another one.
Yeah. Mike, you want to scroll back up to 5 and remind everybody who the Seattle took? Because I think it was Will Anderson, but I'm not 100%.
Will Anderson. It sure was.
Okay, I'm just going to take a look here at the lineup of the Seattle's, not Supersonics, the real team,
the Sea Rats.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Michael.
Yeah. I'm still bitter about the game where they batted the ball out of the back of the end zone to cost us a win.
Are you? I don't remember it. So
I do.
That did not cost them the win.
It did.
They lost that game. That's
they
a
would
dumb
have won
rule
if that
anyway.
didn't happen. It was a dumb rule. But,
you mean if the rule was enforced that nobody even knew existed before it happened?
The referee did. And then he claimed that anyway. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
So you're stealing my thunder. No, just kidding. So I'm going to take a player here that I think would be a nice fit for the Seahawks. Clearly, that's so stupid to say. I'm sorry, but we took one defensive lineman. I want to continue to build on that the same way that I built my O-line last year by taking 2 tackles. I'm going to take Brian Breesy to be an interior presence for me, hopefully free up Will Anderson a little bit on the outside.
The Dolphins forfeit their pick.
I hate this. I hate having to do this. I hate doing this, but I think that this is the correct thing to do.
Oh,
I have Justin Herbert. And I'm going to pay that dude 55 something. Yeah, you got it.
Let me filter a little bit here.
Yeah. And I'm going to have to pay this dude $55 million in the next couple years. And like, my window is now. I have to go now. And I've done a pretty good job putting pieces around him, but I'm going to continue to put pieces around him every opportunity that I get, even if I think that maybe I'm not getting the most quote unquote positional value. And Austin Eckler says he wants a trade, and I want somebody that is going to replace Austin Eckler and be an upgrade. I'm going to draft Bijan Robinson.
Oh my goodness!
You throw up in your mouth a little.
I hate it so much, but like I think that's the right place.
Yeah. And it's not that first round running backs are 100% always the wrong move, right? It depends on the team, the structure of the team, what your needs are. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Mike, who's got the AFC East here, Mike? Or this is not the North. That's you, Brent. That's you,
yeah,
Brent, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, you interrupted me getting ready to make my pick to tell me that I was up?
No, I'm interrupting you to offer you a trade.
Ooh. All right, what do we got? Interesting. What do we got?
The Kansas City Chiefs are on the phone.
Ooh.
The Kansas City Chiefs would like to offer picks 31, 63, and 122 to come up to. You're like a wizard.
Hold on. All right. Yeah. I misclicked.
Hey, there
Chiefs
they are.
Would like to offer. Yep.
I'd like to offer 31, 63, and 122 to come up to 22.
Interesting. That's a lot of value.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I'm not.
Is it
I'm
enough?
not taking the way that I did my trade. My trade proposals is I took the pick that I thought that I wanted. I multiplied it by 1.5 because that's the value that most teams usually get based on the model, the draft chart that I use. And then I subtracted picks down that I had until I approached that number. So this is what I consider to be a fair, non-negotiable offer. Like I'm going to offer this and not negotiate about it. So
the Ravens are going to reluctantly accept this trade.
So my thinking here is Kansas City has 10 picks in this class, and I don't think that it's likely that they are going to take 10 players and add them to their roster. I don't know that they really have that many positional battles that they need to fight. And so they're going to use their picks to target certain players at certain points in the draft. So
that would make sense.
Yeah. So
before
we're gonna
the Chiefs make the official pick, Shannon would like to know if there's going to be an intermission.
There will not be. There will not be.
All right.
No.
The Chiefs can officially make their position.
Thank you.
Pick.
Would you click on draft a player for me there, buddy?
I will.
The Chiefs, who are going to move on from Frank Clark, who need someone to help out Chris Jones, we are going to take a player that is appearing to fall down draft boards. We are going to draft Lucas Van Ness from Iowa.
And that was going to be the Ravens pick.
Yeah.
So the question then is, Justin, because this is what essentially what happened. Would you trade Lucas Van Ness and, for that package?
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Because there's some other options that I think will be available for us at 31 that we also liked.
Shannon, we have an extremely positive chat, and we appreciate people in the chat who are going to keep this positive. Okay, so like, I like
your own snacks, by the way.
He's got a thumbs up in there. Joey's been really positive. Like, let's not boo the format, shall we? All right, come on.
I mean, you can always pause and watch the replay.
Yes.
Use the restroom whenever you want. Just bring your own snacks.
Feel free.
We're not providing snacks.
Wait until Mike's speaking and then duck out real quick.
Ouch.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, buddy, but
ouch.
It was there.
It was. You saw your opportunity and you took it.
I did. I'm all over this draft.
All right, so the Justin and the Minnesota Vikings are on
Vikings
the
are back
clock again.
I forgot I was up next. I was already looking at the Bengals pick.
Yeah.
All right. The Vikings are going to go ahead. Man. Got me flustered here with that pick. What do we got with the Vikings?
Thanks, Shannon. Good to see you again.
See you, Shan.
The Vikings are going to head and take Miles Murphy out of Clemson.
Yeah.
All right. That'll be fun for the Lions to face twice a year.
I know. I don't like my drafting for the rest of the NFC North here.
Yeah.
Jacksonville was in a good spot because they were looking to go edge, and there were 2 good edge rushers left, and they will be going with Nolan Smith from Georgia.
I love it. I think
that's a good pick.
I'm sorry, Dr. Detroit, but they took everyone else I kind of wanted.
Yeah.
I think Porter's a really good player to get at 18 still, though.
Porter will win him over. He'll win Dr. Detroit over it. He'll make a play to win a game, and he'll go out and get the jersey.
I think with the attitude his father had, combined with Dre Bly and Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell and that entire coaching staff, would just mesh like.
He's a dog, right? He's a dog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Jamal Williams isn't here, but he's definitely going to be a big dog, not a puppy who's pissing on the porch.
Hey, Don.
So Tampa Bay, having traded back, they ended up losing 2 of their 3 possibilities, I thought. In being that they need help on the O-line and tight end, I want to take the best blocking tight end and go with Michael Mayer from Notre Dame.
I'm so sick of this Dalton Kincaid shit first crap. Michael Mayer's just the better overall tight end. I applaud your decision.
All right, so the Cowboys looking for defensive tackle, could use a linebacker, could use a center, could use a running back for depth, if not nobody at in the first round. So I was kind of flipping through, and I was a little disappointed in who was left and the amount of capital. Like if I had traded up earlier, it would have just cost too much. So we're kind of left with who we're left with. So I think at this point, the Cowboys are going to drop down the little board here and take Maisie Smith, defensive lineman out of Michigan, to shore up that defensive line. Buffalo, I didn't realize I was back-to-back again. Yay me. Buffalo, they could use a defensive back, but I also think that they could use a wide receiver. And we're looking at Zay Flowers from Boston College to help out on the edges there.
I like Zay Flowers for them. That would be a nice pick. Here's something I think that we should watch, though. There's been rumblings all offseason that Stephon Diggs is not happy in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it would be crazy if on draft night his name gets called up in a trade. So
for a first and something,
he could be the AJ Brown of this year's class. So
yeah, it'll be interesting.
I don't care how unhappy he is. I can't imagine him wanting out of Buffalo right now. Unless he just really hates the cold.
No one likes the cold.
Like, you're not going to get in a better. You're not going to get in a better situation than that. He's paid well. I don't get it.
I don't understand why he would be unhappy either. But I mean, there are things others outside of the cold and money that would, make it. Maybe he hates Josh Allen personally. I don't know, but like,
that dude's arm's going to make him a lot of money.
It is. It's true.
All right, the Bengals are on the clock. We were kind of sneakily enough hoping that Bijan Robinson actually fell here to add another playmaker to that offense.
You're disgusting.
Hey, don't tell me you don't like it. As much as I would like to protect Joe Burrow and my entire franchise QB here, I'm going to go a different route and draft the tight end, who is the receiver, and try to add to that receiving group and take Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, I like that. I like that move. Just continue to give Joe Burrow more people to throw to. I don't know that you can have too many.
Nope.
Yeah, really solid.
Yeah.
Although you do have to keep him alive at some point.
There you go.
He has torn his ACL once, so.
Well, Kincaid's a relatively big dude, though, right? So at least he can be a speed bump.
Sure.
We're going to get some guards later, okay? The Bengals are looking for line help later in the draft right now. I promise you that.
Gotcha.
With no great defensive line options for the Saints, everyone's been taken. We are going to go with Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback from Mississippi State.
Interesting.
Just to review what Philadelphia did previously, way up at 10, because that's where Super Bowl teams pick. They took Elijah Cansey, kind of he's probably going to end up on the edge over there, but can play in the center if he needs to.
When you got so I like that pick for them because Jordan Smith, what's his name? The behemoth.
Javon Hargrave?
No.
Hargrave
from Georgia last year. That's just an absolute tank. Jordan something. He requires a double team when he's in. And so like even though he only plays like 20 snaps a game, chat, help me out. Who's the DT from Philadelphia that played for Georgia that's absolutely huge? You put that guy who demands a double. Jordan Davis. Thank you, Steve. So you put someone like that who, like Elijah Cansey, requires not getting double teamed in order to be effective. Like when he's not double teamed, he can win against guards and centers in the NFL. And so if you've got him paired up with a guy that requires the double team, I think he's going to be super effective. Like that's the best player in the NFL that he could be put next
to. For Philly, the other thing that we were looking at is last year they grabbed Nakobe Dean. And this year, I think having a guy like Jack Campbell sitting next to him,
oh my God, 2
Butkus Award winners side by side.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Shit. That's the one you wanted, isn't it?
He throws the Butkus Award out.
Jack Campbell.
Oh, man. Oh, I like it.
Can you imagine the Kobe Dean and Jack Campbell side by side sitting out there in the backfield? I think that would be pretty dope.
Did Dean even get to play?
He didn't.
Yeah, I mean, he was a little injured, I think, early on, but he played.
He got snaps, and I'll look it up here real quick.
Yeah. Wait, what do we got to sort by line? But where are these linebackers at? What is this going on?
Oh, Mike has to reset the prospects.
Are you looking for a linebacker?
No, I'm just joking that I couldn't find them to put them on your board because they're so far down.
Nakobe Dean played 38 snaps last year.
I thought he played more than that. Must have been real late in the season then, because he was injured going in, right? With like
he played sporadically. Like he played week 1. He played 3 snaps against Detroit. Then he played week 5, week 8, 9, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. So he got healthier as the season went on.
All right, Baltimore, the last one in the first round.
Well, we thought there was going to be some good people available when we made this trade down, and we're starting to regret this a little bit here.
But think of all the other people you're going to draft.
We're going to draft a lot of people with all those
Many
picks,
people?
that's for sure. I think what we're going to do is go ahead and bank on Lamar Jackson playing for the team this year and add to that offense to pair up with OBJ and draft Jordan Addison
I like
out
it.
of USC.
Yeah, you put him in the slot. Then you've got, rats. Mike,
Sir,
we are sitting at 50 minutes.
we are.
We have been planning for 90. Here's what I propose. I think chat would be on board. I want to know what Brian and Justin also think about this. Let's start an additional mock, plug in these picks, and go round 2. What do you guys
plug
think?
in the existing picks?
Yeah. Would you guys be up for that?
I have to step
going
away
around
for a
too.
phone call, and then I can come back.
Okay. Sounds
That'll
good.
give me time to do this too. So
Yeah, Brian,
we
why don't
can
you
definitely
step
go
away?
that route.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Thank you, guys. So, Brian's going to step away. We're going to work on getting the trades and the things plugged back in. And
I have it. I followed the draft here on my screen. If you want me to walk you through it, Mike, you want to do it in
great.
private chat, or how do you want to do it?
yeah, that's fine.
So,
All right,
chat, tell us where we did a good job and where we did a bad job. I know that there was some Detroit stuff in there. We weren't excited about Joey Porter. I like Joey Porter. He's got arms that are about the length of pythons. So, a huge fan of that idea. Anything that you thought was just crazy wrong?
I mean, outside of blistering speed, I don't think 4.46 is that bad. He's not going to run a 4.3 like Gonzalez, but of course that's why you're not going to get him at he's not a top 5 pick at that point.
Yeah, I mean, if he was running like a 4.35 or something like that, I think that he would certainly be, up around like, hey, is this guy going to be the first cornerback taken? But none of these guys in the first round are like 4.3 speed, are they? Maybe Deontay Banks.
I think Gonzalez ran a 4.36.
Okay, but what did Witherspoon didn't even run, right? Like he didn't.
No,
even run
Witherspoon chose not to run.
Yeah. Okay.
So I am actually end up going to have to be out. I have to go. My mom needs help, so I have to go there. And then,
tell your mom I said hello.
Yeah.
That's a bummer, Brian, but thank you for doing this. We really appreciate you doing it. And
I'll definitely do it again.
All right. Excellent.
Well, we'll see you Thursday for the actual first round of the draft.
Yeah.
You're coming over, correct?
Yes, I will be there.
Make sure you bring your
I'll
money.
have white chicken chili.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
All right. We'll see you, buddy.
See ya.
So, Okudah Nagore did get beat with that speed, but every time Okudah got beat, it wasn't because he got outran. It was because he just misplayed everything.
That doesn't help.
No, he didn't have makeup speed to make up for it, but he also just punted every single time he was on the field.
Does this look right for the trade that we did? It was 3 for 4 and 79.
Which trade are we starting with?
The Colts moving up.
Yeah, I traded 3 for 4 and their 3rd round pick. So that sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. I still have it pulled up, but it's not
the Colts
telling me what the trades were.
His name is Joey. He's a winner. Okay, I can see that. Winner's going to win. I would rather draft Julius Brent in the 2nd round if they are going to draft a long-arm CB that runs a 4.5. Okay, yeah.
So
I can see that, Steve-O.
Banks out of Maryland.
What was the trade for the Raiders to move up to grab
the Raiders got number 4 and they gave up 7. Oh, hang on. Arizona I got this mixed up on my chart here. I think it was 4 and 70. Does that sound about right?
738 and 70.
730. Yes.
For 4.
Yes.
So cornerbacks who actually ran faster than Porter, both Maryland cornerbacks, Banks and Bennett.
Landerson. And then Jalen Carter, Devin Witherspoon,
Forbes out of Mississippi State, Christian Gonzalez. Like I said, he ran a 4.38.
I really don't think that Forbes is being evaluated accurately. Like all I ever hear about is his production off those picks. Like half of his picks were tip balls. I mean, like that's just not. I mean, if it's one thing if he's in a position making a play on the ball, and it's, I mean, like if he's really good at a tip drill, that's one thing. But like, I don't think that you could translate tipped picks to the NFL.
Ringo out of Georgia actually ran a 4.36.
Yeah, that dude's a blazer.
I actually really like Ringo. I'm surprised he's fallen so far, and I would be very happy if we got him in the second round somehow.
Yeah, I mean, like, remember, Cam Sutton's the only guy, quote unquote, under contract.
Exactly. All of our cornerback picks are such short term, which is why we went quarterback there.
Yeah, like I like the guys they signed: Mosley, Sutton, CJC, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, CGJ Johnson. You know, it's possible that you sign one of those guys like 2-3 year deals or whatever after this upcoming season, but like it wouldn't hurt to say like, here's some quality depth. I mean, when was the last time the Lions had quality depth? And like in the secondary, like last year, we saw like how many games did they play where they had the same, you know, 4 or 5 defensive backs playing together? You know, at least some depth, I think, would be hugely beneficial to this team's chance at making the playoffs.
Laundry magnet, that possibly could be a realistic take. I can't argue that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the same thing has been said about Witherspoon, Porter Jr.
I mean, that's every college quarterback,
right? I mean,
really.
like
if they continue to play the same way, but
yeah, I think that you get them with Dre Bly and Aaron Glenn and just get them used to the NFL and what they're going to be doing. And
I used to hate this term more than like anything in the world when people would say it, and it drove me crazy. But with the way that they're building this team, I do think the whole culture fit really matters. And I've never believed that in my life.
Well, because I think that for most of the teams that use that byline, it's there as like a way to deflect attention, deflect answering the real question. I think with Detroit, like it just feels legitimate.
Yeah, it's true somehow. Like the expression. Another one I hate is, you know, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. No, It doesn't. That's not true. Talent still wins 90% of the time. Now when you're also talented, that changes. But the way they're doing things, it seems truly different.
Okay. Yeah, and I agree. And I think that because of that what we have seen in the locker room, on Hard Knocks, in the press, and the way that you have heard like the players respond to the culture makes me not nearly as worried about taking a guy who might have like issues like a Jalen Carter, or who may not be a great locker room presence. Well, maybe fucking Georgia has a shit locker room because it's a bunch of college kids and
it's college locker room.
Yeah, or whatever. And like you get them into a professional setting with an expectation and like coaches that are there to help them. Like, we're going to make you into the best player that we can make you be. And we think that's going to translate to winning. Like, I think that gets a lot of buy-in from players. And when you get buy-in and talent together. All right. Looks like Mike is ready to go. Mike,
we are ready to go. Yeah, I'm going to make it a little bigger.
It's a constant thing that we have to say to each other here on the show. So I don't know how we want to divide up Brian's picks, but I'm kind of cool with just kind of like a free flowing, like I'll take this one. Maybe a discussion based approach, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I was thinking of that, or we could get Chad involved a little.
Oh, I would.
Oh, we got Joey. We got Steve-O. We got Don. I don't know. It's kind of.
I mean, sketch. Is there anyone in chat that's willing to put out their opinion?
Ooh, I don't know.
Well,
I don't think anybody is afraid to put out their opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so we are on the clock with the start of the second round. Pick 32. Fuck you, Miami Dolphins. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be picking where the Chicago Bears are in the Chase Claypool trade. So who had the... Oh, this is the North. This is you, Burks, right?
This is me. I was trying to figure out where I went last time.
Sure.
All right, we went tackle last time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to take Harrison sitting there.
I'm going to move this over here.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Don't want Harrison.
Probably a little too early to fill that linebacker need. Let's double check the spreadsheet here. I wasn't very as prepared for
round 2.
for round 2. I'm not gonna lie. I do think they need some wide receiver help. I have not dug extremely deep in the wide receivers at this one.
So for Pittsburgh,
Judging
they've
by
got
what is left.
what? They've got
ahead.
Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. Now they've got Allen Robinson.
You keep saying that like that's something. I watched him play football last year.
I mean, like, they just traded for him, right? I mean, like,
They were giving him. That is very different.
I mean, but like let's say the Rams called them up and offered them that deal. They were like, yeah.
I mean, Steelers always have a tough defense. You want to give the young quarterback the weapons.
Hey, Funky.
Hey, Funky.
We are
Thanks.
gonna
Yeah,
lean
bang the like
toward-
button.
Which one of these wide receivers do we like?
Funky understands how the algorithm functions.
He does.
We're going to go ahead and take Downs.
Josh Downs.
Who?
Yes. Josh
Wide
Downs out of
receiver
North Carolina.
from North Carolina.
All right, yeah, that seems pretty solid. All right. I can get behind that.
We want to get our young quarterback some weapons. We got him to tackle help. Build the offense around him.
So Houston, I believe, went quarterback, wide receiver in the first round.
Yeah, they got Jackson Smith
and
Najigba
CJ Stroud, right?
and CJ Stroud.
Okay, so so I think that the Texans would. I like BJ Ojulari for them quite a lot. I think he's being slept on as how productive he's going to be at an NFL level. Add a pass rusher, add someone whose his versatility I think is going to be really helpful in their defense. Their linebackers are atrocious, and I think he's more of a 3-4 outside linebacker than he is like a true edge. So
that's who we're going with.
That's who I would nominate.
Well, I'm good with that. That makes sense to me. I don't see. I mean, we picked off a quarterback. We picked off a wide receiver. It's still a little early, probably for a center. And I think that's a pretty solid draft choice on the defensive side of the ball.
So here we go. I've got the NFC West, and this is Anton Harrison. I'm not even listening to trade offers. I'm just going to go run that. I'm running the card in. So
I was going to do that until I realized I already took a tackle.
Yeah.
The Rams are so disappointed.
I know, right? So this is the South. So what about you, Burks? You want to take this one?
The Colts. Okay. What did he do with the Colts? I know he traded down. He traded
up to get Will Levis.
Take Will Levis.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a Jim Irsay pick.
Did they only have one pick?
They did.
They did.
Interesting.
Dude, yes.
I believe the Colts are definitely looking for wide receiver help. I don't see anything really available here that looks good at 35.
I think they lost Paris Campbell to the Giants. So I do believe they're down a starting wide receiver.
Yeah.
What about like a Jalen Hyatt?
Nathaniel Dell.
5'8".
Wow, there's just not a lot in this area, is there?
No, there's not.
Michael Wilson.
No, there's nothing that screams that. So let's switch it up a little bit. You got the fresh young quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's take DeJuan Jones. Let's get a young tackle in there to protect him. Get a cheap tackle. You get a cheap quarterback. 2 positions of value. You protect your investment. Let's go that.
And you get to make the Rams cry again. Back-to-back tackles right in front of them for a team that had a historically bad offensive line.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible. So if my pick, I would go ahead and use that on Tawan Jones, Ohio State.
Okay.
Well, good, because I already clicked it.
So, Mike, I've got the NFC West, and so that means I've got the Rams. So, what do you think? I know you're a Rams guy.
I'm a Stafford fan.
Sure.
Therefore, I watch the Rams and Aaron Donald.
Exactly.
You can't call us Rams guys. You can't call us Rams guys because we're definitely Lions guys, but we're still going to pay very close attention.
He watches the Rams play football. I don't know how else to describe it.
Offensive line is by
far
their
every
biggest need.
Yeah.
They've lost so much this offseason. It's, I believe they are anticipated to have like only 6 wins this next year from a couple of the sports books, and it just blows my mind because I don't think they're that bad, but they definitely need help. So like I'm thinking taking a guy like Osiris Torrance and shore up the line, or potentially on the defensive side of the ball, they've got Aaron Donald and Ernest Jones, and that's about it. So if they could find a top cornerback to replace Jalen Ramsey, I think that would be a good spot for him as well. But I think their offensive line is, if they can't score points, they're going to lose. Just bad. So
there's three guys. You guys help me pick, okay? Will McDonald for an edge rusher, Osiris Torrance for an offensive line addition, or DJ Turner as a cornerback.
I was leaning toward McDonald or Torrance.
I would go with Torrance. I would go Osiris. Their offensive line is that bad.
Okay. Osiris Torrance is going to be. I remember that first game of last year, and Buffalo just buzzsawed them.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
it was hard. It was a hard watch. Okay, so
the whole season went the exact same way.
It's correct. So the Seahawks took Will Anderson and Brian Breesy in the first round. So 2 defensive linemen. Not sure I like them going defensive line again, even though that seems to be where the talent is here. What wide receiver? You know what? I already took a player in Bijan Robinson I didn't like. I'm going to draft Tank Dell to be my new slot wide receiver.
Tank Dell. Nathaniel Dell?
Yes. Well,
all right.
Okay. So this is the pick that Arizona got in the trade down. And so, Mike, who did we take with the first pick? Their first pick in the second round here?
What was Riddick saying today, Don?
And then Anton Harris.
I'm going to draft Will McDonald, edge from Iowa State.
He's just been there too long not to, right?
Correct. All right, Mike, this is an NFC South team. So this was Brian. Do you want to take over for the Panthers here?
Sure. So they grabbed Bryce Young.
Yep.
I think that was their only pick, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. So they got Bryce Young. They've got just a terrible team. They need help at wide receiver, but like we were talking about, there's not a lot of studs in this area. They need an edge rusher to shore up the defense, and I think Felix Nduki Uzama is probably like the best bang for the buck for those guys. So that's what they're going to go with.
Yeah, they had Gross Matos was a second or third round pick for them a couple of years ago, and I think they were hoping that he'd develop, but I don't know that he's taken that step. So maybe you try and pick somebody that can complement Brian Burns. Yeah.
No, I do feel like Riddick has kind of been a Lions fan for a while. He was always very high on Stafford, especially when he was interviewing for the job there that Holmes ended up getting.
Yeah, Louis Riddick.
Yeah, I don't think he's been a Lions hater at all.
So Burks, we got the Saints on the clock here. They went. What'd they go with in the first round, Mike?
Carolina went Uzama, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Forbes.
Emmanuel Forbes.
So Burks, what do you think? What do you think New Orleans might do here?
So I haven't followed much, but you spent the money. You got Derek Carr there. I think you look for protection for Derek Carr, protect the investment. I don't know what their line looks like, where they need the most help.
So
Pro
they still
Football
have
Focus
Ryan
seems to think
Ramchick.
it's a guard.
Yeah.
So I do like Avila out of TCU. He's someone I was hoping the Lions could possibly sneak in this round.
Okay.
So I don't hate that pick for them.
There you go, Mike.
All right. A pick we don't hate. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So I'll take the Titans here. The Titans didn't get Paris Johnson. They ended up with Skoronski, I believe, in the first round. I know that I've got Tannehill on an expiring contract that's like $36 million. Malik Willis played for me a little bit last year, and that kind of went exactly how you thought it might go. I'm going to be a little controversial here, and I'm going to draft Hendon Hooker.
Wow.
Hey, you guys wanted the Lions to draft him. I just want to throw that out there.
Who did?
Chat for the most
Not
part.
Drew.
No.
Yeah. So Hendon Hooker. All right.
Chat loved Willis.
Yeah. Mike, you got back-to-back Jets picks here, don't you?
Hey, yeah, I do. Look at that.
So
I'm gonna remind myself who we took.
you do not have the ability to trade for Aaron Rodgers.
No, I took Darnell Wright.
Yeah. For Zach Wilson.
13.
You're welcome.
All right.
They need an off-ball linebacker. Henley's available.
Tanner McKee's available.
So, we could use a cornerback.
Remember also, you've got back-to-back picks here.
Yeah.
So you got a little built-in insurance.
Tyreek Stevenson's a solid spot. Cam Smith's solid. I was not ready for round 2, much like Justin was saying.
Well, that's all right. It makes it a fun exercise. I also think that off-ball linebacker could be a real pick for them. So, like, I don't think a Dan Henley here would be crazy.
Looking at my notes.
Like he took notes on the Jets. Shut up.
He's just trying to see what Mike Greenberg said on Get Up this morning.
Yeah, no kidding. Jesus Christ. You just wrote things on a piece of paper, Mike. That's not proof of anything.
Yeah, I kind of stalling here. I just don't. I don't know. I think that they need to go with a cornerback, and I do like the idea of like a Dion Henley as a linebacker.
I found Mike's notes.
Yeah, there you
go. See, that's why we brought you on here, Justin. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go with Cam Smith.
Yep.
And assuming there's no trade up request coming, I am gonna grab Henley.
So we're up to the Falcons. That's another AFC South team. So I guess I'll take this one. So the Falcons took Tyree Wilson in the first round. So we have our edge rusher. We took Drake London last year. We still have Kyle Pitts. Mike, you want to click on wide receivers for me just real quick, and we can remind ourselves who's left? Michael Wilson, Rashid Rice, Jalen Hyatt, A.T. Perry. Well, scroll down a little bit more for me. Okay, that's enough.
I feel like the term slot receiver is overused anyway in general in the NFL these days.
You do? Why?
Just the way they play it, and
Jalen Hyatt.
Yes, they're inside, but it's like saying Amon-Ra is not a true number one option because he plays inside the slot. Like, yeah, so does Cooper Kupp. What's your point?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason the slot wide receiver can't be a number one option.
Like, they can be like the way routes are so complex, you can move like it's not what it used to be.
The Atlanta Falcons are going to take Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver from Tennessee.
Steve O says Hyatt was mostly running go routes from the slot.
For whatever happens with Jalen Hyatt, like in the first year, he's gonna play a lot of 9-ball. Like he's just gonna be deep routes, deep crosses, deep posts. Like they're going to utilize his speed while they get him to used to running like a real NFL route tree.
We want wide receiver in the first round.
Quentin Johnson, right?
Yes. Yeah, we were looking to get some help for Jordan Love there.
Ooh, what about a tight end?
I was kind of looking at Laporta right there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that may not be bad. He's really good after the catch. The problem he had at Iowa was that no one could get him the ball.
True. Their line's not bad.
Yeah.
Let's go with Laporta. Seems a little high for a mid-tier tight end, but.
Ooh, the AFC East back on the clock.
So the Jets went with Gonzalez, I believe. He dropped down to 13 or whatever. 14. So we've got our cornerback.
With the Jets or the Patriots?
Sorry, Patriots.
Yes.
I was looking at something else here on my screen.
Why does it say they have need at QB?
Because
have you seen Mac Jones
Mac
play?
Jones wants to be traded.
Yeah. That is something I was considering with a guy like Tanner McKee or something. I just don't
remember they have Bailey Zappi.
Yeah.
From
I don't think
Western
it's something
Kentucky.
that we want to take in the second, though, is the thing. So I think they probably just go with the top edge rusher on the board and shore up the defense a little bit.
Yeah. Adetomiwa Adebare.
God bless you.
Yeah. Well, we should.
Oh, and the Commanders, look at that.
As Lions fans, we should be appreciative of guys with hard to pronounce last names.
This is true. All right, so Washington. Remind me who I grabbed in Washington.
Was it
Deontay Banks?
Oh yeah,
Deontay Banks. So we got ourselves a corner. Let me look at the depth chart here.
Yeah, so I would be thinking something like, I like that corner pick a lot. I could see them going something like interior offensive line, tight end. I mean, tight end, I think would be. What about Darnell Washington here, Mike?
What?
Well, I mean, so I guess here's a question for you guys. How much do we believe in Sam Howell?
Well, not much, because we didn't pick him for four straight rounds last year, right? Like as Washington. So
right.
If you're going to go into the season and give
Howell as our starter and Jacoby Brissett as our backup,
right? So I don't mind Brissett as the backup, but like I like their wide receivers. I think their tight end room is atrocious. Maybe Justin would want to trade up here one spot if he wants to target Washington, but like I would look at somebody like like Luke Musgrave would not be a bad idea as a receiving tight end. Jahmyr Gibbs may not be a bad idea here as like a receiving threat out of the backfield.
Darnell Washington. Yeah, I think a tight end might be the way they go. They got Terry McLaurin, Dotson, and Curtis Samuel as their top three wide receivers.
Is Justin picking up the phone here? I can't see. It's hard to tell.
I'm not trading up one pick to draft Darnell Washington second round at 48. I really like Darnell Washington. I really like the way he fits in with the Detroit Lions.
I love him.
I think the way that they use the extra tackle in that big formation all the time to get Darnell Washington, who's basically already an extra tackle, put him in that offense, let Ben Johnson get creative with him. Yeah. Basically the way we ran that Penei Sewell route last year. Yeah. Like that's Darnell Washington every single snap. If you run that big jumbo formation and you have to account for him, it's a free first down. So I like that wrinkle, but I do not think he is worthy of a 48 pick.
Well, we went with Musgrave at 47, Justin.
Yeah, so he's available.
I would consider him with 55. It would probably have to be a third rounder for me. But now,
and to be honest, there's not a ton of tight end needs in between there. Maybe the Dolphins.
Bengals got their tight end in the first round.
Yeah.
Who? The Dolphins? They didn't get anything in the first round. Oh,
Bengals.
Yeah, and but they need an offensive line to block for Tua so he doesn't get any more head injuries.
Yeah, I think somebody wants to trade up right now to get Tanner McKee.
Who's trading up?
I don't know. Somebody. My phone's ringing, right? Really, this spot I was hoping Avila would fall. I was looking for some interior offensive line help. I don't want to take a center like Tippmann right now.
Mike, click on guards just real quick. I feel like there's somebody that might not be.
It's just interior offensive lineman, right?
Yeah, it's both.
Yeah. So Zavala's the next one they got. I don't see anyone I like this early.
Chat, what do you think the Lions do here at 48?
We got cornerback. Huh. Who's available? I kind of want to go with another cornerback just based on what's available.
Oh, the chat is going to rip your ass.
I know they would murder me, but
it's
like
okay,
I see
though.
Hodges Tomlinson there. I know he's fast. He's speedy.
5'7".
That's not that's fine.
It's not
It's
fine.
okay. You can
Not
play
okay.
around that.
Can you?
I don't know. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw one out there just to kind of spite everyone.
Sure.
We're gonna make everyone mad here.
Okay.
Do you want me to sort? Wait, hold on. I know what you're gonna do here.
No.
No. All right.
We're gonna take Drew Sanders.
Oh, okay.
Drew Sanders. All right.
Linebacker.
Yep.
Yeah.
The versatile guy.
Nobody likes a linebacker. We got to replace Anzalone at some point.
Yep.
I was hoping
we've only got him for 3 more years.
This year, yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe we re-signed him. All right, Steelers are on the clock.
Back on the clock.
Steelers went with tackle first round, and then we had the first pick here and grabbed a wide receiver. Let's go ahead and get that DB help. Let's take Brent's out of Kansas State.
Julius. All right. So the Giants traded up to grab Brian Branch in the first round, which they were pretty pumped for.
Got to replace Julian Love. Oh, Joey doesn't like it.
Which one doesn't he like?
I don't know.
Possibly a linebacker pick.
It's hard to keep.
I told you nobody was going to like the linebacker pick.
But. So we got ourselves a safety. I don't see a ton of value in the high-end wide receivers at this point.
Mike, can I make a suggestion?
Do we need a center?
Yeah, that's my suggestion.
Just the time to take the center?
Not him.
Which one?
I want the
Whippler?
No, I don't want that one. He'd be fine. I was going to recommend John Michael Schmitz from Minnesota. They have him as like the third center on the board. He's my first center.
All right. I will go with that.
All right. The East is back on the clock with the Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins finally get to pick.
Yep.
And we need the offensive line.
So, based upon style, I would say that Whippler would be a good pick for them as a center. He's a smaller center, very athletic, someone you're going to pull, try and get to the second level, get him on linebackers and safeties, that kind of thing. If you're going to take a center, my recommendation would be Whippler.
Take a look at their depth chart here. I'm trying to find it anyway. Yeah, it looks like it's mostly offensive tackle help that they need. Tight end, offensive tackle, and defensive tackle. But let's go with Whippler because I think they do just need help on the offensive line in general. And the Seahawks are back on the board.
I also need a center. I'm going to draft John Michael Schmitz. Is he already out? Did someone take him? I'll take Tippmann.
No.
All right.
Tough shit.
I was going to take Tippmann.
Well, you waited too long.
You could have traded up.
That was the next pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rams cried twice with that kind of thing.
Listen,
fair.
We all know there's going to be a run on centers.
You should have known, Justin.
Did you think there'd be a second round run on centers? Come on.
It's the annual second round run on centers.
All right. The Bears went offensive line, their first pick. We were going to grab another center. I think you got the one I wanted. Reading his information there, they said he's athletic. That seems kind of important when your quarterback is Justin Fields and runs around like a chicken with his head cut off.
That's okay.
No? So keeping with that theme of running around, we're going to go ahead and get some DB help. And we're going to draft Hodges Tomlinson out of TCU.
So ridiculous.
That's the Bears, so if he's 5'7",
yeah,
I feel like that lines up very good for
Perfect.
Jameson Williams.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got the Chargers on the clock. I get to pick. I'm excited about it. I like it. I don't know that there's a lot of wide receiver talent on the board right now that I want.
Wilson from Stanford.
Yeah, no.
Rashee Rice, SMU.
Yeah, he's a good guy. But I'm going to take the guy right after him, actually. I need a linebacker. I'm going to take Trenton Simpson.
Yeah. Sorry, Justin. They took your linebacker right in front of you.
I already have a linebacker.
Oh, that's
I
right.
got one
That's
earlier.
Right. You took Drew Sanders.
Nobody's happy with me taking a linebacker, so I'm actually going to go ahead and make Drew's life happy. I'm going to go ahead and draft Darnell Washington here.
If they draft him, I might go get the jersey. I mean,
I really have liked Darnell Washington. I was talking to a buddy this year about how I'd like to use him with the whole big thing. And he goes, bro, you can't just make up players you want them to draft. And I'm like, no, he actually exists. He plays for Georgia.
Yeah.
His name is Darnell Washington. And he was like, oh, yeah, I know that, dude. That actually makes sense. So
I remember being in Mike's living room during the college football playoff and just pointing up in front of the TV, pointing at him look how big he is. He's so big.
That shouldn't be fair.
It's not fair. Okay, so we've got the AFC South here.
Jacksonville.
I don't remember who they took in round 1. Oh, Joey likes that one. We picked 24, I think.
So I've noticed that Chet
Nolan Smith
doesn't like it when I draft defense for the most part.
Right.
They want all gas, all offense.
Oh, Justin redeemed himself. Holy shit, he's never said that to me. Jacksonville's going to take Tuli Tuipulotu here, edge from USC.
I would like to point out that we had one of the best offenses in the NFL last year that only got better in the worst defenses ever. So we kind of need help on that side of the ball.
Well, the defense was bad. Can't argue that, but over the last 10, they played pretty well.
They played better.
Turnovers was a huge deal, though,
right?
Than the lack thereof. We got some, and we didn't give the ball away.
Well, we got Kirby Joseph in there, which is huge.
Yeah, I love Kirby Joseph. I think this pick should be Tanner McKee. They signed Baker Mayfield. There's no guarantee. I think that they don't. What is the guy that they drafted out of Florida? Kyle Trask.
Who'd the Chargers take?
No Stetson Bennett.
Tuli Tuipulotu from. No, not fucking Stetson Bennett.
No Max Dugan.
Stop.
Tanner McKee.
Yeah.
All right, I think that makes sense.
Thanks. All right, Mike, you're back.
All right, I got to remind myself who we picked here in the first round. Dallas.
I'm not going to lie,
Smith,
Joey.
That's right. Maisie Smith.
I know almost nothing about Drew Sanders. Didn't dig too deep into the second round. Just wasn't
remember,
a lot available.
We sprung this one on him. So
and linebacker seemed like something that we should take a stab at some point this year.
I think so. One thing
Speaking
that the Lions went into this offseason saying they wanted was athletes. And Drew Sanders would certainly qualify, I believe, under that umbrella term.
He definitely has the athlete part down. I liked his measurables. Said he was an edge rusher, so you never know. You could change him over to some type of an edge, a Micah Parsons type.
Yeah.
Speaking of Parsons, the Cowboys are going to also draft a linebacker, and they're going to go with DeMarvion Overshown.
Just 70 picks. Yeah. Oh, Mike's back on the clock with the Bills.
Oh, we're on the Bills. All right. So to remind everybody what happened in the first round, the Bills at number 27 picked Zay Flowers, wide receiver. We are also looking for linebacker help and also a guard. And I think it's probably about that time where we could find a pretty decent guard. Which one do you guys like better? Zavala or Voorhees?
Oh, I don't think Voorhees is playing.
Oh, that's right. He's he snapped the old ACL.
Yeah.
We could take him.
Zavala, yeah, you could certainly like draft and stash or what have you, right? But like Zavala may have had an injury that he is also coming back from. I have heard that recently. I don't know. Try first look, Mike.
First look, yeah, it says basically he's a first-year starter, which I don't love, especially with linemen. And
try analysis.
4 pressures on 422. That's pretty solid.
Pass blocking is a good place to be in Detroit or in Washington. Josh Allen's place, whatever the hell it's called today.
Well, what about Jackson Kirkland?
No,
what do we know about him?
You can get him three rounds later. If you're going to take a guy, take Zavala.
All right, let's go with Zavala.
Bengals are now on the clock. Yeah. We went tight end earlier.
So what do you think about Mixon maybe not being on the team? What about Jahmyr Gibbs here, Burks?
You want to go running back?
I was curious if you did. I mean, like Mixon. I
told you I was kind of hoping Bijan fell.
I don't know how much. I mean, they're different players, but like I think Gibbs would be.
Yeah.
Really exciting.
I mean, I don't hate it. That defense is fine, and just keep giving Joe Burrow all the help you can give him.
I mean, it's hard to argue with. I think.
Yeah, I think the kid is probably going to be the best quarterback in the NFL here before too long.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think he's that good. Joe Burrow is that good. He is that guy.
I think he will. I think he probably will.
I'm gonna die on the Patrick Mahomes hill until someone beats Patrick Mahomes.
So I can't argue that, but the league figures you out when you're the best for that long.
They didn't last year. I mean,
but eventually they catch up eventually.
Okay.
And so does age. That's the thing.
That is also true.
When he's 35, they're gonna.
He does get out of the pocket for no reason sometimes. So if they can figure out a way to use that against him, maybe that could slow him down a little bit.
There you go.
I don't know how the hell you do that, but
you don't.
So you thinking Jahmyr Gibbs? You don't. So you thinking Gibbs here then?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. Bam.
Chicago, Burks.
The Bears.
All right, what do we got? I've fallen behind here on my keeping track here.
Don't worry, Mike's got you covered.
Yeah, we got the DB. We went we went tackle with our first pick.
Yep, Paris Johnson with the first pick.
What about Keanu Benton?
Defensive lineman.
Their defensive line is atrocious.
It is pretty bad. I don't think you want to get too crazy with the offense anymore. Yeah. That seems like the smart pick.
All right, who are we looking for?
Oh my God.
Right there in front of you, Benton.
Oh, Keanu Benton. All right.
I pointed like you could see what I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as you pointed, I'm like, oh, there it is.
That one. It's that one. Don't you see what I'm doing? Yeah. Hilarious.
All right.
Top-notch content.
We're killing it.
Yeah.
So the Eagles took Kalijah Cansey at 10, and then Jack Campbell at 30. So I am thinking.
Can I make a suggestion?
You may.
Cody Mock makes a lot of sense here, I think. He's a little light for a guard, but he's super athletic and like fits a need. And like, you can even give him a year to hit the weight room, change his diet, that kind of thing, and maybe not lose all of his athletic ability. And just stacking guys seems like a Howie Roseman kind of an idea. Plus, Joey will love it. So,
Joey often takes Mock in the second round.
Yes, he does.
That's what he said. So, and then for the final pick,
all right,
in the second round, the Baltimore Ravens.
This
on the clock.
Not a ton of value here. It is the last pick of the second round, so we're gonna go ahead and reach a little bit. We're gonna take Kelly Ringo.
Jake fucking Moody, isn't it?
Oh,
we're gonna take Kelly Ringo out of Georgia.
I
really like him. I think he's a good cornerback. He's got all the physical tools, and I think he would excel at that Baltimore defense.
I like it. Nice pick, Justin.
Nice. I could have sworn it was gonna be Jake Moody.
No.
God damn it, Mike.
I like to troll, but I'm not drafting a kicker ever.
Yeah.
All right, so this was what we got. This was a.
I apologize for everyone who hated the Joey Porter pick, but
I think he's
like
gonna be fine.
Apologize for absolutely nothing.
Don't apologize, Justin.
No, it's the Conor McGregor. I apologize for absolutely nothing.
I absolutely cannot stand Conor McGregor.
I don't either, but that was a funny line.
Gotcha. It sure was. So, yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot of good discussion here. I think that we had some interesting trades in the first round. I think more preparation if we'd known we were going to go, had enough time to go a second round.
If this was our literal job, we probably would have been a little.
We would have fucking killed it, guys. I mean, like, come on.
I was going to do some trades today, and then, work got caught up.
Yeah. So
I was telling Drew that, or maybe I was telling Justin that beforehand, that I had planned on doing a little bit more prep, and then just my day went to hell, so I didn't get to.
I started prepping 2 days ago. So
I started prepping a while ago, and then I did a lot yesterday and brushed up.
So I think it went pretty well. Chat was pretty engaged, having a conversation on the picks. That was great. Saw some people we haven't seen in a minute. It was good having Brian and Justin here to help us out with the exercise.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Who went earlier than you thought was going to go?
Who went earlier?
Yes.
Levis. I wasn't expecting Indy to trade up one spot.
I can't see the draft, so I'm having a hard time.
Shit, I forgot to. Hold on. Let me. Hey, there we go. I didn't expect Levis to go up, or Indianapolis to go up for just one spot. But if they were afraid that they were going to trade with another person, another team, that makes sense, right?
That would have been the worry there.
Cansey for me is the guy that went earlier than I expected him to go.
I also thought he was going to fall down, and I might be able to look at him with Green Bay or Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to admit that's going to be a great spot for him.
Yeah, he's the sleeper that everybody knows is a sleeper type pick right now.
So so that for me was not a surprise because I like the fit, but like I also thought, hey, Mike, can you scroll down a little bit so we can see the?
Good. Hoping we could. There we go. That's the full list. You guys see it okay still?
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
I don't know about anybody going higher than I thought that they would go.
So who fell?
Well, Jack Campbell at 30, I think was. I mean, I hate to pick both picks that Mike had for the Eagles, but like, I do think. I mean, like they're not going to be bad players. They're probably going to be better players than, if they had gone to bad teams. But I think that like those guys going to the Eagles gives them the best chance to be great. And if they do become great, the Eagles look like geniuses, right? So the guys that dropped for me, Wilson was someone I thought might go top 6.
Yeah, I think the rush on quarterbacks pushed him down a little bit.
Yeah. I think Branch could certainly go higher than 19. Nolan Smith, I think, could go a little bit higher. But other
Well, I
than
think
that,
that's why the
Gonzalez
Giants traded up, right?
Yeah.
Is they're like, I can't believe this guy's falling. We really need him. I don't think he's going to fall too much further. Let's go get him.
it makes sense. Yeah. And I like that move, Mike, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was surprised Bijan Robinson went where he did, and by whom. Yeah.
I'm
Who picked him?
extremely so. I was really thinking he might be available there at 28. I'm not gonna lie.
so I want to say this and understand that what I'm trying to say, so don't jump all over me at the immediately here. I watched 30 minutes of Bijan footage today. Not at work, of course.
No, of course not.
The way that he uses very, very, like some guys, when they change direction, it's very extreme, right? It's like an acute triangle or whatever. It's like boom, and now I'm going almost 180 degrees in the same while trying to go in the same direction. Like their change of direction is extreme. With Bijan Robinson, I hate to say this because he's so good, but like he reminds me a little bit of Barry Sanders in the way that he uses just very slight changes of direction to like turn defenders around completely. And one of the reasons why I think that he would excel with Justin Herbert is that Herbert you might call him just a slightly less mobile Josh Allen. And you give someone who broke 104 tackles this year, more tackles than's ever been broken in college football by a running back in a complete season. I think that you're gonna see like San Diego's offense just take a step forward with this guy. Like they've already invested heavily in the line. I think that's really going to help them. You got to account for Herbert as a mobile quarterback. They still have all the same wide receivers, I guess. Even
passing to set up the run.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think that that's a good fit. I don't like the value of taking a running back in the first round. I like that fit between player and team.
So when I say I say it in chat sometimes, and I say the best player available.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I don't mean like just on draft boards type things, but it's when you draft a player in the first round. I agree with you guys 100% on the positions of value and getting that rookie contract and all that out of it. But what's better than missing on that edge rusher or something like that that's position of value is making sure you hit. So if you have a guy like a Bijan Robinson that you, as your scouting team and your GM, you feel is a lock to be a potential Hall of Fame player or a Pro Bowler, to me that sometimes is better to take that lock that you are for sure is going to hit, even though the contract value isn't there for the extra bit, but you're going to hit on that first round pick versus risking to get that position where you're going to get the better financial benefit. I think Bijan falls into that right there.
So here's where I'll agree with you. If you could 100% guarantee me that I'm going to draft like a perennial Pro Bowler or an All Pro or someone,
nothing's ever guaranteed, but yeah,
right, exactly. So like that's the trouble I have with it, right? Is that you can't guarantee it, but like if you're convinced that a Bijan Robinson, has an opportunity to be, let's just say this: what percentage chance do you think that Bijan Robinson this upcoming season could be the best running back in the NFL?
And me personally, I don't know. I haven't watched him, but I think that's where I only like that when you trust your scouts, you trust your guys making those decisions, and if they tell you that, like, this is the lock, we believe this, you put those guys in that position. That's the only time that I think it's okay to take the safety, to take the running back, to do those kinds of things. Just when you trust those guys' decision making, that's the guy, we should go ahead and do it. That's the only time that I like those picks. Kind of is what
one of the things that Bijan does well is he because he is so shifty, because he breaks so many tackles, he's more likely to, or he's less likely to get injured because he's not taking those big head-on collisions. He's so shifty and dynamic that he's going to be more glancing. It's like Barry Sanders. He barely got injured his entire career because no one could hit him head on. It was glancing blows, and that takes all of the strength and the power out of those hits. So hopefully that goes into the NFL and he can stay healthy, unlike some of the other first rounders that were just big power backs to try to run. And it's just like, car crashes. And he's not that. He's more of like a,
I really
falling off your skateboard.
Bijan highlights now.
I think you'll be impressed, Justin. But
I really want to watch him. I love a good running back highlight.
So the other thing that I like about that player and that team is that San Diego has invested in their offensive line. They drafted Rashawn Slater. They drafted that kid from Boston College at right guard last year. They went out and signed Corey Linsley as their center. It's not a complete offensive line, but it's a good run blocking offensive line. I would hate a team without a good offensive line to have drafted Bijan Robinson to quote unquote fix their run game.
Yeah,
right?
That's the worst.
I think that this is what the Steelers did a couple of years ago with Najee Harris, right? So they were one of the worst rushing offenses in the league. They draft Najee Harris. They get 0.2 yards per carry better.
The Lions used to do that all the time.
Right. And so and what you just see is that getting the running back to fix your running game is not the needle mover. It's the fix your offensive line, get a decent scheme in there with some continuity, add the running back second. Once you have that in place, then you could take a guy second, third round, and they're going to produce at a higher level because they're given the opportunity to succeed. So when you put someone who could automatically improve your running game regardless with a decent offensive line and that already has a quarterback that you have to account for throwing the ball, that sets up the dominoes for Bijan Robinson to be successful in the NFL immediately and not have his carries wasted. So I think that in this particular scenario, it's appropriate for that team to think about taking him, and almost no other team. I think Philly could also take a look at it. But
what about the Lions? We've got a great offensive line. And I say this because the thing that you just said was you need to have a great offensive line to help do that. We have a passing attack that is decent, especially on the short, quick routes. We've got a phenomenal offensive line. The big reason why I wouldn't do it is because we just got Montgomery, right? We don't have that big of a need. But say we didn't grab Montgomery in the offseason and Jamal Williams still thought our offer was disrespectful, and we're sitting there with Swift and Jamar Jefferson and those guys. In that scenario, do you grab a Bijan Robinson at 18?
So I don't like that because it's a what if. So here's what I'll say.
Sure.
So Bijan Robinson this last year at Texas broke 104 tackles. Do you know whose record he broke? David Montgomery.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So the Lions were very clearly looking at a player that can do what Bijan Robinson does. And as opposed to going out into the draft and taking that player, they found him in free agency. So I don't know that it rules out them taking Bijan Robinson, but I think that it makes it a lot less likely. So
tomorrow we get a news report that Montgomery twists his ankle, snaps his ACL, he's out.
Jesus Christ, dude, you're saying this shit out loud?
Come on, Mike. Come on.
I don't believe in that kind of shit anyway.
It was almost yearly or bi-yearly that we would draft a second-round running back to replace the second-round running back that was a carbon copy of the one we just had.
Yeah.
The Kevin Smith, the Kerryon Johnson, they were all the same running back. And we just kept drafting them.
So I guess what I would say, no, he's not as dynamic as Bijan Robinson is, Steve. I mean, and that's what we're talking about here is that they have what I would consider to be Bijan Robinson light, okay, already on the roster. Now you have someone like DeAndre Swift that adds a little bit something different in the receiving game at least. Yep, the shake and bake stuff. You have him for one more year. You're probably going to move on, right? If Bijan Robinson was in the 2024 draft class and the Lions are picking with the 22nd or 26th pick or something in the draft, I might be saying a different story. I might be singing a different story. But like, this is just not as aligned as I would want it in order to make this kind of investment, when this kind of investment has proven to not pay off time after time after time after time. So the one thing that I've been saying to other people about like Bijan, like the Lions taking Bijan Robinson, is like, does he play defense? Like, let's not forget that even though the defense played better last year, as the year went on, they were still bad. So like, I think that when you want to get better, if you want to be a playoff team, if you're going to go on the road and win a playoff game and end the 31-year streak, you're going to have to play defense better than they did last year. I like what they've done so far to improve it. You can still do more. He is like Bijan and Montgomery. He is like Montgomery and Swift combined. Like, I'm not saying, I've never said that Bijan Robinson is a bad player. That is not my gripe with Bijan Robinson. My gripe is his position facilitates not spending a first round pick on him.
Yeah.
Herndon keeps the defense. The defense wasn't on the field very long.
I mean, but I think the NFL.
That's because they gave up quick strikes.
That's kind of my point.
Isn't that like what the NFL? Hey, Crimson.
What's up, Crimson?
That's what I think that the NFL has shown now, with like more open, more RPO, more wide. What's the term when you're wide? Spread offenses.
Spread.
Thank you. Is that I don't think teams care as most teams, or the NFL, quote unquote, in general, is caring as much about like a ball control, eat the clock. Are there times in the game where that's absolutely critical when you want to salt something away? Sure, I'm not arguing that. But I'm saying that I think more teams are going to that quick strike scoring, push the ball down the field offense than they are the like 3 yards in a cloud of dust that I grew up with.
Now, that's true, but the Lions kind of did the reverse a little bit this year and went old school a little bit with the run the ball, eat the clock. They started the season that way a little bit.
So I think when you're a bad
lot
team,
of the times that we were running the ball,
bad team?
They won 3 games the year prior. What would you have said?
But they were leading the league in scoring with that approach.
Sure.
Not the previous year.
No, I'm talking the beginning of the season when we were running the ball like crazy.
Don't forget, a lot of those runs were on fourth downs because we couldn't push the ball downfield, and we had to extend our drives, and we did because we were able to get there.
They kind of broke the mold of the trending there for a little while there, which is what made me really kind of like Ben Johnson a little bit, is he was willing to try something different that kind of wasn't trendy per se and do it well.
Right. So at in the first half of last season,
yes,
when they were 2-6, something 1-7, something like that.
Not good.
They were not good, right? And so like they were still prolific on offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that was what kept everybody kind of hopeful about that they could turn their season around, and they did. So I agree that the offense was prolific, but I think in order to have a prolific offense, you need a combination of things. You need either 2 dynamic receiving threats, or you need a dynamic receiving threat and an elite run game. And I think that they had the latter. I think that the receiving threat in Amon-Ra St. Brown checked that box. Ben Johnson and his revamped rushing attack checked the other box. They were able to move the ball down the field, put themselves in positions to score points, and then they actually executed that.
Yes.
Then you figure out the back end of it a little bit. You handle the turnovers a little bit. Those losses start turning into wins. Great. But like, I think that you have to burn the candle at the other end on the defensive side to get things back to the middle here. So,
I mean, I think all three of us agree 100% that, fix the defense.
Yeah. So I understand why people are excited about Bijan. I think that he's going to be a great player. God forbid he gets hurt. I think that's what happened to Saquon that derailed that train. But like, the same things that are said about Bijan were said about Saquon Barkley not that long ago.
That was going to be my question, is we've got Saquon playing at, his quote unquote peak or what everyone said he could be right now. Even at his highest level, is that valuable?
No, it's not. I agree to
that.
The perfect way to say it. Like, it's just not that valuable. Like, so he's been in the league for what, 4 years, and so he was hurt some of the time, and he maybe had his best season this year, and the Giants went to the playoffs and won a playoff game. Great. If
right now
is what the number 2 pick at a running back spot earns you, it's not enough.
Like, we know what Saquon is. We see what he can do. I'm still not spending a 2 pick on that, even though he panned out.
You know, like, the Dallas Cowboys defense was terrible for years, and like the pick after Ezekiel Elliott was Jalen Ramsey. I mean, like, there is the opportunity cost for taking a guy like Saquon or like Ezekiel Elliott or maybe even a Bijan Robinson could be that you miss out on an elite defensive player that would add so much more to your team's ability to pull off a win.
I think there's few positions like running back that are not position to value type positions where even if it was a known quality, would I go that high? And I think one of them is running back, where I would draft a lot higher if I knew how good they were going to be.
Yeah,
early. And I don't think running back is one of them. Even no matter how good they're going to be, I still don't want them.
So, like, I mean, like, if you told me that I could get a guy at 18 that was going to be Adrian Peterson, he's a clone, a legitimate clone of Adrian Peterson. Would I take it there? Maybe.
I'm interested now
on this team, but like the problem is, like, you can never guarantee me that the prospect is going to be that. It's always hope based. It's always speculation and projection based.
But I mean, that's anything.
Too soon, Crimson.
It is.
It's too soon to say whether he paid off or not.
So I will say this about Najee: he hasn't missed a game.
Yep,
that's it. And like, they have done
the big long list of things that you want to say nice about him.
I mean, they have not.
That's important.
It's important. That's 100% true. Like, it's hard to help your team if you're not playing. Remember Jeff Okudah? So
especially at running back too.
100%. You know, but like we said before Crimson got on, like 2 years ago, they drafted Najee Harris. They wanted him to help fix their running game.
Percy Harvin.
They ended up improving their running game by 0.2 yards per carry. It's just not a needle mover.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, and like, you know, we've talked about this particular graphic a few times, especially on our running back episodes, but you don't need to spend money on a running back. And when you're drafting first round, you're spending money whether you like it or not. Right?
Right. So today I was watching a mock draft on, I think it was PFF, or could have been 33rd team. I'm not sure who it was at this point. But like, they took at 18, they took Bijan Robinson. So because salaries are locked into draft position now, if you take Bijan Robinson at 18, he's the 16th highest paid running back in the NFL. That's not too shabby, you know. But like, once again, I mean, like, that's one of the problems with Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon is that you draft them and shit. Like, Saquon Barkley is still like in the top 10 highest paid running backs based off of his rookie deal because of how much the number 2 pick makes. Like, he would make the same amount of money as
Hutch.
My boy Hutch. Yeah. So like, of course that's adjusted for like salary cap inflation, but like there comes a point where it's getting financially acceptable to take a running back if he is Bijan Robinson. But we haven't seen Bijan Robinson since Saquon Barkley, and we hadn't seen Saquon Barkley since Ezekiel Elliott. So I mean, like, these guys don't come around every year.
Well,
and running back
that's just
doesn't help
draft
you win as much.
How many are taken in the first round? Like, right. I sent Mike an article a while back about positions and what percentage of them panned out, what percentage of them became all pros to Pro Bowl, stuff like that. And like, edge is super low, and part of that is because so many edges are taken, right, because you get the discount on them financially. But it just every year there's a Vernon Golston, or, you know, who's the Oregon kid they took not long ago, and it's just like, ooh, you get that trauma of, is this edge going to be the bust of the year?
Deion Jordan.
Yes, Deion Jordan. Yeah,
that was
like those are ones that always just like pop in my head right away when you take an early edge rusher. It's like, oh, is it him? Is it him?
like when you look, like I'm glad that you're sending Mike those kinds of articles, because like that is the essence of like what we want our podcast to be. Like there are positions that you take at certain points in the draft because you literally cannot find them in other places. And running back just does not belong in that group of positions.
This one was more like what position pans out the most. So like the highest percentage position is actually linebacker, but it's because it's low taken. So nobody makes that decision unless they're sure he's going to be a lock type deal.
Right. So Mike is hinting at us here. He's probably got dinner waiting for him.
I got to go.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the things I wanted to make sure we did was remind everybody that Thursday we're going to do the draft night live stream.
A week from Thursday.
A week. Oh shit! That's right. There was one more. Is it?
I'm gonna have to get a nap that day.
Oh my god, it
so
is
late these days.
Man, I was looking forward to it. I was thinking it was this week.
Oh my god. So yeah, it's the 27th.
Never mind then. It's not this Thursday.
Well, we've been reminding people for the last month that we're going to do the live stream for the first round. So not inappropriate whatsoever, Michael. But it is, we are 8 or 9 days out. 9 days out.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait that long, Drew.
I don't either. I literally am. The dreams have started. I'm starting to imagine scenarios that aren't real because I'm looking forward to the NFL draft.
Do you remember when the draft used to be like the 4th?
Yeah, it was great.
And it got done in 2 days?
Yeah.
Instead
Those
of
were long
12?
days.
Yeah. Oh, they were. Yeah.
I was happy that we moved like the first round to its own day. I didn't like the fact that it was Thursday.
At 10:30 or 11 o'clock, whatever it is.
Jesus Christ, dude. I'm ready to go to sleep by the time the thing starts anymore.
Ready to go to sleep. I'm passed out like 2 hours ago.
It's ridiculous. I mean, like, I would have liked to see Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but they just didn't do it for some reason.
Oh, they don't want it on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's not. Crimson, I'll bet my shirt that pick 18 is not Hendon Hooker.
Why does
Oh shit?
Why? This is Malik Willis last year, but everybody wanted us to draft him. That's how I feel about the Hendon Hooker pick this year. What are we doing? Is this? You remember how the Lions? I said they would every other year take a second round running back who was a clone of the one that was no good. They also did that with backup quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Stop doing that. Stop taking Drew Stanton in the second round.
At least he was. At least he was Big Ten player.
We have one more show before the NFL draft. That is next Tuesday at 7. We don't know what we're going to do for that show. We will come up with something.
But it'll be good.
It'll
be so good
and educate you. I want to thank Justin again for being here. I want to thank Brian again for being here. Mike, I'm glad you're here too. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have any draft questions or things you want us to talk about, please email us at casualgmpodcast@gmail.com while you can. And hit us up at casualgm podcast on Twitter.
Funky says, pound that like button.
Yeah.
Like, comment, and subscribe. It helps on the old YouTube algorithm. Tell your friends we're trying to hit triple digits. We're getting closer. I think we're at 71. So that's awesome. Appreciate you all. And we'll catch you next. Hey, Bo,
what's up, 90 minutes. Hooray.
Rewind and watch. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, we did it. Bo Gregarious came in.
Yeah.
It was a good one,
guys.
Bo. You'll like it.
Yeah, it was good. All right, we'll see you. Thanks, Justin, for hanging out with us. And Brian, I'll give him a shout and thank him too. So we'll catch you guys later.
All right. See you.